Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing so y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, let's talk about boxing's fans versus boxing's fanboys. It's a big issue in boxing, you know. A lot of times these issues, can stop big fights from happening. We seem to argue about why fights shouldn't happen, and that's where you start to get into fans versus fanboys. It's pretty simple to dissect. I would just say a boxing fan is a fan of somebody and a fan of boxing, period, right? And they just want to see good fights, and they kind of want to see fights from the best to the best, see who's the best in divisions and see who's the best all the time, like you watch most sports. But you're still a fan of somebody, too. You can be a fan of people, and it's okay. But the difference is a fanboy is the kind that's as a fan of someone, right? And they are always arguing about why that person should not fight people, right? You get situations where a boxer has a mandatory challenger, and that challenger's good. They shouldn't fight that guy. He's not worthy. But then they're followed up by fighting somebody that's less worthy. Or you have boxers that are champions, right? And other champions in the same division want to fight them, to unify. And then the fanboy is in the internet basically arguing about why the other guy's not worthy and why they shouldn't fight, right? And when you start worrying about who's worthy, then you would at least think that the fighter that they fight after that guy's not worthy would be worthy. But they seem to let them want to fight lesser people. So what you're basically saying is, I want my fighter to be considered the best without ever having to prove it, right? We'll let that go through. And that's where you're a fanboy at that point. You're not really in the interest of, hey, listen, I'm a fan of this guy, even if he loses a couple of fights. Even if he fights somebody that's real good, but he gets beat. Like, for example, lately, William Zepeda. I don't think William Zepeda lost too many fans by giving his all against Shakur Stevenson. If you're a fan of William Zepeda, you're going to be like, well, William Zepeda-like things in that fight. I'm coming in here and I'm throwing a whole bunch of punches at you. You lucky that you can get away from a lot of them. Lucky, because everybody ain't. Shoot, I think William Zepeda still got the same amount of fans and probably more after losing to Shakur Stevenson. And that's cool, you know what I mean? Shoot, like I say, I rolled with some Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia done lost plenty of fights. Not, well, that's a damn lie, plenty. But he's lost a few fights. Most of the time he's an underdog. But he's going to get you. You mess around. Joseph Parker the same way. He done lost a couple of fights. I still think he's a good fighter. Roll with him. So it is what it is. Those are the differences between fans and fanboys. It's pretty simple. And it made me think about it because I was thinking about Deontay Wilder, who I roll with now, who's probably going to retire soon. But, he's probably coming back. And I was just thinking, well, actually, if I was a fanboy, I'd be trying to make excuses of who Wilder should just fight and who he shouldn't fight. He shouldn't fight this guy, that guy. He's about to retire. He's coming off injuries. Don't fight nobody hard before you leave. Beat up two people and roll real quick. But the same way I've been about Deontay Wilder, before the injuries, before the losses, before he was cheated with Tyson Fury with the gloves, which is openly cheated, right? Before all of that stuff, right? I was Deontay against anybody. I don't care. Even if he loses, but I'm going to put up against anybody. It was never somebody, oh, man, I hope he don't fight him. Anybody. Whoever was supposed to be the problem. If it was Tyson Fury, if it was Anthony Joshua, anybody, Dillian White, Louis the Real King or Carl Ortiz, whoever it was, look, go get him. You know what I mean? Except for Dillian White, because Dillian White avoided Louis the Real King, Carl Ortiz, and he could have just done that and then got the fight with Wilder. He was trying to go beat around the bush, and Wilder was trying to get Joshua. But even Dillian White, too, you know what I'm saying, under the right circumstances, was never like Dillian White because he's Dillian White and not fight him. It's because you aren't deserving yet. Do what the sanctioned body tells you and you get the fight. That's what that was, principle. But in terms of fighting anybody, and even now, when you're supposed to actually be scared for Deontay Wilder, right? It's like, I'd like him to fight Alexander Usyk. I wouldn't care if Usyk said, you know what? Bro, people used to talk about you. Before I get up out of here, I'm going to beat you too. They say you might clip me with your right hand. I'll make sure. I'm going to beat you too. Although Deontay Wilder doesn't deserve the Usyk fight right now. right? But if Usyk said, hey, I'll do that just to show everybody you can't get me either, then I'm not going to be like, well, Deontay, don't fight him because Usyk is dangerous. No, Deontay versus Usyk now without a tune-up because I'm a fan of his. Got belief in him. Here's somebody else, Deontay Wilder versus Moses Itauma. Isn't he the baddest one coming up? The next generation, the one who could beat everybody, and everybody should stay away from Moses Itauma, including Usyk. Wilder versus him now without a tune-up. No problem with it. You know, is Itauma so awesome? Then put Deontay Wilder out his misery, right? But I'm not going to sit here and say, like, I don't want Deontay Wilder to fight him because, A, he's too dangerous right now. He'll take 2 or 3 tune-ups like he's Jerron Boots Ennis. Awesome, but taking tune-ups, you know, that's another story. But the point is, no, Wilder versus Itauma now, right now. Baddest dude everybody's talking about. Have no problem with it as a Deontay Wilder fan. And here's somebody who mentions his name, Deontay Wilder versus Jake Paul, right? Jake Paul said something, I heard everybody put Deontay Wilder's name in his mouth. Deontay Wilder, make sure y'all get insurance papers, right? And fight Jake Paul. I wouldn't have no problem with it, right? That's somebody that's a glorified tune-up from Deontay Wilder's point of view, glorified tune-up, high-profile fight, whole lot of money involved. And hey, people will talk that smack that they would want to see it until it gets signed, and then they start saying, well, you know, well, why would he want to fight Jake Paul? Jake Paul called him out. Go on, fight him. Make sure y'all get the insurance right, because if Jake Paul get the Arthur Spilka treatment or Louis the Real King Kong treatment or Lyokovich treatment or Dominic Brazil treatment or something like that, and he's laying on that canvas, they're going to be looking at you. Well, why did you fight him? They ain't going to be happy. So get that insurance together before you do it. But I wouldn't mind him fighting Jake Paul neither. Then that's the total spectrum of the fighting. Jake Paul, hyped guy who's coming up, thinking he's a real boxer right now. Itauma, who's the hottest one, right? The hottest one and the best prospect out there right now, or the very best, the all-time great, Usyk. That's what you call a fan. Can you say that about your favorite fighter? Doma Sports Talk, worldwide. And I'm about here, y'all.